Hello boys and girls, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm with my guy Thomas again, and what we're going to talk about today is going to be special. Okay, we're going to talk about everything that's useful for you so you can make a bunch of money until the end of the year, for you to have a cracking end of 2024 and hopefully inspire you. Alright, we've just arrived in North Macedonia, never been. Just why did we come here in the first place?
Well,
one, right?
Because we've never been, and I think we like to conquer new cities and countries,
new territory,
and tick them off the list. Tick them off the list and be like, yeah, been to that place, been to Skopje, been to North Macedonia now. Well, I mean, there's still a few other, I'm sure, gems of cities to visit in North Macedonia, but
probably
capital city
not.
For now. Yeah.
It's a bit like
maybe not.
Respect to all Macedonians. I don't know what else is going on in this country, but anyway, this is going to be
a peaceful place, that's for sure.
Yeah, the 47th or 48th country that I've been to. Absolute blessing, and it's wonderful to travel. It's wonderful if you can stay focused and run a business online. Traveling just becomes like I guess, not a luxury anymore, but more of it's comfortable. You can comfortably travel if you're making money online. You can just use it as like as part of your life. Like the gym bros say that gym is part of their life or whatever. I think the travel is part of my life. I just genuinely enjoy moving around.
What's your favourite thing about travelling?
I'd say just I'd say maybe the dopamine, just the reward system. I'm thinking, hey, I'm working hard right now for 7 days. I've got a cool place here, and in 7 days' time, I'll travel to that place and I'll discover a new place. But I also, and this is an important point, I also think you've got to have a base, guys, because, for example, I like the idea of investing into my city and having a nice place in my city, knowing the same people all the time. I don't like novelty necessarily all the time and having, not many deep connections in every single city. I prefer just having the same restaurants that I go to, etc. But 6 months of the year, I'll probably stay in Warsaw, which is like my new home, let's say. Probably 3 months of the year in Dubai for the company, etc. And then 3 months of the year just bouncing around.
Yeah.
Wondering why we're dressed like this, by the way. We're about to hit the gym, and
as we
nice
do,
spa.
As we do, yeah. Yeah, going to be a brutal gym session. Absolutely going to tear apart my chest, shoulders and triceps. How about you? What are you going to do?
I don't know yet. I don't know yet.
Okay. It's going to be brutal either way, though, right?
It's going to be brutal.
Yeah,
exactly.
And on the topic of building having a base, it is very important, I think, also for two specific reasons. One, your reputation. You get to build your reputation, right, over time. And if you do it well, you can actually be a pretty notable person within that area that you're living in. Only if it's one of your bases, right? And you're there like a decent amount of time every single year. And secondly, for the focus, I find it's very important. Whenever I'm like moving country or city every week or so, I can find it a bit hard to like dial in as much as when, for example, when I'm dialed in, like staying in a place for 3 months at a time or 6 months at a time. And that might even seem very, very short for some of you people watching this, but that's like typically what I prefer in terms of getting focused. But I also recently we were 2 weeks in Serbia, in Belgrade, and now we're going to spend at least a week here, but we've still been very focused and concentrated, and I think that helps the fact that we're together as well.
I think traveling is
the
also
accountability,
cool because you don't you've always got something to look forward to. If you're moving at speed, not only with travel but like with business deals, let's say you've got one day you've got a real estate deal to close in Romania, the other day you've got business in New York. You're flying around every few days. You've got a busy schedule. It's tough to have time to be depressed, right? You're always moving at speed, and speed defies gravity, right? Speed makes you feel like, hey, you can't fall down. You can't just feel low because there's always stuff to do and your body's just adapting. So I recommend that you move at speed. Money doesn't wait. I know it's cheesy to say, money doesn't sleep or whatever, but it's true. The quicker you are at taking action on different opportunities, the quicker you are with your life in general, the quicker you'll move forward. So that's a big lesson in itself. And why Eastern Europe? Because a lot of people tell me, hey, you moved to Eastern Europe probably just for the girls, etc. It's funny, I hear that all the time, and I tell them that's probably the thing that I care about the least. Of course, I love beautiful women. Who doesn't?
There's beautiful women everywhere. I mean, maybe apart from the UK, but.
But the thing is, it's absolutely not for that. In Eastern Europe, first of all, you'll have a different culture. Okay, you have people that are less liberal, less woke, a culture of people who have been through a lot lot of tougher times back in their days. Even now, the average income here in Macedonia is probably 200 to 400 a month, if I had to guess. And I think I'm not too far off. You know, if a rural guy in the city is making 200 a month, I think he's well off. You know, in the capital city, it's maybe a little bit different. But Eastern Europe has just got a different vibe to it. Okay, the architecture is different. As I said, the people's culture is different. People maybe are colder up front, but they're some of the kindest people on the planet.
When you get to know them, yeah.
They're very warm people. I like the food here. I like the traditions here. I like how people, you know, are God-fearing. I just like the vibe of the place. I'm a big fan of Soviet architecture. It's very affordable also. Some of the best places ever. The staff are great. I've got only good things to say about Eastern Europe. And, last point, super safe. Okay? I challenge you to walk at 2 a.m. in Skopje here. I'm pretty sure you'll be fine. But if you walk at 2 a.m. In some of the places I know where I grew up in France, it could be another story.
Yeah, and not only will you be fine, you'll just feel a lot safer. Like you'll just naturally feel a lot safer. Sometimes, you know, you can be walking at 2 a.m. alone in, you know, London or Paris and not get mugged or whatever, but you have that feeling like, look, anything can happen. Like you can turn a corner and you can run into this random gang of people and be gone, right, within a few seconds, literally. Like and that's like, again, most Western capital cities. But yeah, the East is less like corrupt, I'd say. It's less like, I mean, at the core of the society, it's like less corrupt. Like people aren't as brainwashed. Let's just put it that way.
Okay, the people. And
yeah, I mean, there's corruption, of course, at a high level everywhere. Yeah.
One of the most corrupt in the world.
But I mean, one example is with the recent pandemic. Like, I think there was a stat. I'm pretty sure it was Bulgaria that like had a 70% rejection rate of the vaccine.
Oh, really?
Like really high rate of the population that just didn't take the vaccine, and that in itself says a lot about the Eastern Europe culture, right? And how the people think. They're just a bit more. Yeah, they've just got their heads, you know, screwed better on their shoulders, I think.
I remember, like talking about that pandemic stuff. Lukashenko in Belarus, he told his people, hey, we're not going to lock you in, you know, fuck the masks, do whatever you want. You just need to drink vodka and go to the sauna. He said that publicly on the national broadcast channel. And it was kind of funny, it went viral everywhere because the guys, you know, hate him or you love him. He's... there's good and bad that you could say about him. No opinions here. But anyway, it's impressive how he just said, just take vodka and stuff and go to the sauna and you'll be fine. And I think Belarus had hardly any troubles with the virus. Sweden stayed open also. I mean, Tom and myself, we were like, you know, really against the vaccine. And I remember being basically pretty much the only people in our city, like back in France. Yeah. Just like everyone had to take the vaccine.
Probably the only two people in France.
Were they even, I think they were paying you at one stage. My mum was saying,
it was bribery.
I think you can get 100 euros, Julian, if you go and get the vaccine. I was like, 100 euros. Like, even guys like Djokovic didn't take it. Anyway, completely like other topic, but that's how we get to these topics when you just speak freely. How many days left? 75 days left until the end of the year. This is my favourite period of the year, by the way, guys. I'm not really a summer guy. It's just too hot. It's annoying. People are partying. People are being average. In winter, I guess people will always be average, but it's your time to shine during the winter. You know, it's your time to be the sun and to create some momentum. And I'm about to sneeze. Don't think I can hold it in.
This is entertainment at its finest.
Exactly. I think it's gone now. All I need to do is probably look at the light. Anyway.
Where's our sun? It's nowhere to be seen, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. We spotted a few planets before. I'm fascinated by astronomy these days. I think it's quite an interesting topic. Ever since I've understood that we were just so insignificant in the universe, I've kind of looked at life from a different lens. It's just a pressure-free existence kind of thing. You know, I'm surprised that people don't understand that a lot more and just give it their all every day without sort of overthinking it too much. I've stopped overthinking. I'm like, maybe it seems weird if I'm saying it like that, but like I don't mind dying, like trying hard and trying stuff. It's like you get one shot at life. I want to make it special, and if it needs to come to an end, it'll come to an end, whatever. But like I just don't want to not shoot my shot. it's like failure is fine, but not trying is just, that's just pathetic. Not trying hard all the time. Be willing to lose. If you're willing to win, you've got to be willing to lose. And when I say lose, it's like, it's not failure. You've got to lose to then win again. And I'm a guy, I love looking at inspiring stories all the time. I listen to guys who have literally had it so much worse than me, and it just makes me think, hey, I'm still not going hard enough. That's a real thing also, the saying that like the guys who go really hard, they always try and go harder, and they wonder why they're not doing more, like how they could do more, and the lazy people, it's the opposite. It's always fascinated me how like some of the guys that try super hard 24/7 just think that they can still do more. And that's kind of the situation I'm in right now. I feel like maybe I'm still not finding the extra few hours in the day to push through. It's quite a strange feeling. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I think like everyone has different ways of working, right? Like people love hustling for 16 hours a day. Some people do better than people who hustle 16 hours a day and only working, maybe 6 hours a day. I think it depends on also the levels of systems that they have in place and all that in their businesses or just in life in general. I mean, look, like as you and I both know, it's not just working hard that gets results. It's working hard and smart, right? As some of you probably know as well. If that was the case, it would be every single dustbin man, would be a millionaire, right? We recently saw a lad at 4 a.m. Working hard, like picking up trash from the Belgrade roads at 4 a.m. right? And it's like seeing people like that where I instantly go, like kind of mad respect to him, for doing those kind of jobs. And it also puts into perspective, like, it makes us more grateful for what we're doing, where we're able to, of course, not need to work at 4 a.m. or whatever, even though I think we probably were at that stage. We were going all night, but we're also able to have the location freedom and be able to move around and not be just tied down to one specific location and doing a job that we hate, basically, as well. Because
you can choose the balance that you have. When I first left to Bali at 18, I was often saying, hey, I'm going to work during the morning, and at 2 p.m. I stopped working and I enjoy Bali. I did that for the first 2 weeks, and then I thought, no, like I don't want to enjoy the rest of the day. I don't get any fun out of that. When it was 2 p.m, of course I wanted a break, maybe hit the spa, go for a run on the beach. But then I was like, to be honest with myself, Tulin, there's nothing else I'd rather do right now than just work even more and make more progress and go to sleep earlier, wake up earlier, just make some moves, and I genuinely, there was nothing else I wanted to do than work. So if that's your case, it's a blessing. Obsession, like true obsession, which I would say I don't have yet. I don't have this true obsession for the work. I'd still say I do better than 80% of people in terms of work ethic, but I'd love to get to 99. And the thing is, you need true obsession. And true obsession is a gift. I'm truly obsessed with other things. You can be truly obsessed, and it's a gift. It's not a behavior to suppress. It's an actual God-given gift. If you can be obsessed with something, you should not listen to anyone who's trying to take you out of it.
Yeah, unless it's the wrong. You can also train yourself to be obsessed on certain things. It doesn't need to just happen naturally. I think sometimes when you give something a shot, which maybe you're not straight away super obsessed with, but you give it a shot, and weeks go by, months go by, where you're working consistently towards it, and you're giving more attention towards it. Boom! All of a sudden, you can become really, really obsessed about that specific topic. And I think, whoever's the most obsessed is going to be the person who has the most success, right? Because naturally, the most obsessed person is going to be so much more motivated and relentless than the person who's 50% motivated or obsessed in a specific area of life, right? You've got to, if you want to get really, really good at certain areas of life, whether that's business, relationships, social skills, fitness and all that, you've got to immerse yourself in those specific topics, right? And immersion comes from actually being obsessed in the first place. If you're not obsessed, you're not going to immerse yourself in a specific topic because you're just not going to, or you might do it for a week, but then it will just die off, because you just won't, you won't have the inclination to and when I say immerse, it's really immerse yourself, right? Really go deep and make it your whole life, right? For a specific period. And I also do believe in the 80-20 rule, right? Where look, I think for most people, with 80% of the time, you're just like working like a madman, right? And really chasing your goals, being really truly obsessed. The other 20% of the time, you know, you can do whatever the hell you want. I think that's generally a healthy kind of rule to live by, where 20% of the time you can be having fun. Maybe 10%, 20%, right? You can be having fun. You can be doing things that you enjoy, right? For example, one thing that I enjoy is playing golf, right? It takes a fair amount of time, but golf is a very good, like, well, it's a sport I really enjoy. It's a social sport as well. But ultimately, it's not like, unless I'm closing a client, right, during a golf round, it's not really work. But that would fall into the category of, you know, 10 to 20% of my time when I'm not working. That's what I enjoy to do. And it keeps you going, you know, when you're in the trenches, knowing that, like, look, there's light at the end of the tunnel almost, right? Like, you're working for a purpose. You're working to have more freedom, to be able to enjoy nice experiences, to be able to travel to, I don't know, the other end of the world, go to Colombia for, you know, 2 weeks and slightly enjoy yourself, right, whilst you continue to work. But keeping that balance of 80-20%, I think, is a fine thing to do.
It depends on what you do, of course. Obsession, like, we were talking about that 1 hour ago. Gosh, I'm super tired. I can feel like my heart beating a lot more. It's going to be gym and sleep after this, I can tell you. But coming back to this, like, I've been learning Russian, like, for example, for the last month, and I'm really obsessed with it. You know, like, I'm playing a video every evening before going to sleep. And for the last 6 months, I was studying, like, astronomy, geography, history, you know, those things. I don't want to be just, like, too narrow-minded with business and just being that guy that only knows mathematical equations and knows how to, you know, can do a balance sheet. I mean, it's useful, but, you know, you want to be more interesting than that at a dinner table. So, yeah, I've been studying quite a lot of things. And then I thought, hey, I really like the idea of learning a new language. I'm going to be doing a lot of business in Eastern Europe, in Russian-speaking countries. Let's tackle Russian. And in 1 month, I've learned all the alphabet by heart. I can speak a few words. I can speak a few sentences. I can understand a good quarter of the language. It's fun. And, you know, the average guy probably can't. But if you're obsessed with it, you can learn Russian from absolute scratch within 3 or 4 months. That's kind of what I think.
Would you be able to say thank you for watching, please subscribe in Russian? Was that a bit too advanced right now?
I wouldn't be able to say that.
That would
watching.
I think that would have increased the subscriber rate by 50%.
Watch.
Well, Russian is an important language. It is one that's nice to learn for sure, if you can immerse yourself in it.
There are guys I know that speak like 25 languages. I mean, I doubt you're watching, but Peter, for example, like, you know, you're the first guy that comes to mind. Like 25 languages or something. He's got a cool account on Instagram where he posts a lot of stuff on how you can become a polyglot, etc. No, it's super interesting. And it's like, I remember, I think it was him that made a story saying it's like a good purpose to have. Like, it's true. You know, if you don't know, your purpose in life doesn't have to be this extraordinary thing. It's got to be something that just motivates you and that makes you feel like you're living for a reason. And the idea of speaking loads of languages and traveling and visiting loads of different cultures, fully back that. You know, it doesn't need to be this complicated thing that you've got figured out at 18 also. When I was 18, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Like, I had a vague idea. I've still got a vague idea right now, very good idea, but I can guarantee you that in a year's time I'll have other projects going on. Like, your purpose is going to continuously change. You have new dreams, new goals, left, right and center. You have to adapt your mission, etc. Maybe a tragedy will happen to you, something will happen to you that will alter the trajectory of your life, and your purpose, you'll adapt it. You'll find new motivations, new things that you're trying to pursue. I've learned it in the last few years anyway. Life's a constant battle, and it's a direction that you can't plan in advance. You know, you're not fucking going on the same line all the time. There's going to be different curves at loads of different points in your life, and it's a battle, but it also makes it fun. You know, all the good emotions, the bad emotions, the stress, the anxiety. I take it all, and I mean it when I say it. I'm not saying it in a cheesy way. There are times where you feel really bad and anxious and stressed. You're running too many things at once, and it's a good moment to think, hey, why the fuck not? You know, I've got something to live for right now. You know, I've got problems to solve. And I don't know, maybe I'm the only one, but I love that. I love the kind of the fire in my blood. I love waking up. I think Tate said this once, but I completely agree. I love waking up and seeing like 45 messages on my phone, loads of shit to deal with. It just makes me stressed.
Question for you. What's like we've been in this game now for about 4-5 years now, the entrepreneurship game, and talking about solving problems and all that, and almost like looking forward to waking up in the morning and having fires to put out in the business on the micro scale. Question for you though, what's been one of the biggest problems that you've had to overcome over the last 4 or 5 years in business, or maybe in life in general related to business that you've overcome and you're proud of?
Quite a few things. I mean, you can talk about losing family members or just having like health issues or whatever. Also, losing a few team members. That was the first struggle for me, was relying so much on people that were working with me that a day, like d'un jour à l'autre, a day to like suddenly, basically leaving, suddenly disappearing from the company, like just saying, hey, not interested anymore, or the pay's not good enough, or hey, I don't have enough calls on my calendar, or whatever it is, and then suddenly thinking,
coffee machine just went off randomly. I mean, I know I drink a lot of coffee, but come on, I did not have my cup ready.
It's like an anti-matrix call from the coffee machine. I think they were aware I was spitting some facts. But yeah, like coming back to your question, losing team members, painful. Restructuring different things in the business. A painful thing in business is also understanding when you understand that your current business isn't working anymore. It does happen when you don't adapt, and sometimes you learn it the hard way, where everything's going to plan and then suddenly you have a shit month, another shit month, and then you understand, hey, I need to adapt. Like the market needs are changing right now. I need to provide something different. They're not like super tough moments in business, but they're wake-up calls.
And it depends what industry you're in, right? Like if you're, for example, in a very traditional, like almost brick and mortar business, like in the aerospace industry, right? That's just never going to happen. It's a very stable industry. It's like, year on year growth. Apart from the pandemic, that's when like things went a bit to shit in that space. But that's like it's a black swan event. In our industry though, and in many online businesses and business industries, that is like very much the case, where things are changing super fast, right? And like if you're not on the ball and if you're not dynamic and adapting fast, literally you can be left behind from 1 month to the other, right? Like literally, and like having a great month 1 month and then the next month like being, I don't know, 90% worse or whatever. If you don't adapt, literally it can be that fast and that scary. Maybe, and that's a bit of an extreme example. It doesn't need to be that extreme, but it's the online world is dynamic. It's fast, and on the topic of also losing team members and all that, I did want to touch on that. I think, because I'm a big believer of like, whenever you find like just an A player, right, in your business, and someone who's really, really like good for your business, you've almost just got to overpay them. You've just got to make them like feel like they're just treated so well that it would be ludicrous for them to leave the business, because they're that valuable. But that kind of comes across in not only the pay, but also how they're treated, of course. And I think that's lessons that we've both learned. Hiring and delegating to the right people and making sure that they stay with your business in the long run is super vital. In fact, it's the life of your business, right? Because without them, it's what do you have? Like, you're like, the team is essential to make the business work.
Question for you then. Let's talk about when we started like 4 or 5 years ago. I remember a key thing. This is funny. It's like we were in the gym, like back in school, in the last year of school, and you made your first like drop shipping sale. You started a drop shipping store. Yeah. It was the hype. Suddenly someone in our school was making money online. We were cashing in. I think I sold like a €10 like a promo deal also on a bunch of pages. It was like, suddenly I thought, I was a millionaire, and Tom, I think it was like $39. Like what was
it? Was 49.
What was it?
It was 49.99 euros. Exactly.
Really?
Yeah. It was. Yeah. It was 50 euros.
What was it called?
It was called the Laser Pen. The laserpen.com. Yeah. So.
What was that?
It was we can dive into it. It was literally the first time I ever made money online, right? Through a dropshipping store, and I remember the story. We were in the gym, and it buzzed when we were in the changing rooms. My phone buzzed, right, with the Shopify notification. For anyone in dropshipping, knows that is a very dopamine filled sensation, right? When you get a Shopify notification, and unfortunately it was just one, but it was my first one, so it was like super. It was like a wow moment. And I remember, first directly telling you, and then I think a couple other friends who weren't really in the business world, but they were like, wow.
What did it do, the laser pen?
So that's the thing. It was definitely not a great product, you know. It was my, I think it wasn't even my first dropshipping store, but it was, I think, my third one. The first two were complete fails.
Okay, so the first one was a winter one.
Yeah, right? It was like a clothing dropshipping brand.
What was the second one?
Like very crap. Second one, I'm trying to think now.
I remember the winter one that you showed me, and I thought, wow, it's crazy that you can set up a website.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about that. I was like, how the hell do you create a website? Like, how does that work?
I'm trying to think now. There was definitely like one in between the very first one and the laser pen one, which got the sale.
Really?
But the sad part of that story is like the product wasn't like the best. I mean, I was a beginner back then. I remember ordering the product to my address to like actually test it out. But the thing is, it arrived only 4 weeks after I ordered it, and so in that time, that's when I got the sale. But the sad part of the story is after I got that sale and I went back to the ad account ready to scale things up, you know, and increase the budget and all that, the ad account got disabled, right? And for anyone in the online marketing world knows that that's like such a pain in the ass, especially with Facebook. And no matter what I tried, I literally couldn't get it back. Maybe it was also due to the fact I was 16 at that time still, or 17.
You're not allowed to have an ad account there.
I think you probably are, but not in your name. I think there was something with that anyway. But also due to the fact that it was like Facebook, they were cracking down on like dropshipping stores and all that at that time. And as soon as you had an ad that was a bit misleading, which granted was probably the case with my store there, I was just trying to get some sales with some random ads that I was putting together, from AliExpress images and stuff that I was finding of the product and the supplier that they were giving to me. As soon as Facebook sees an ad is like misleading or can be scammy or whatever, they just shut your ad account down.
That's weird.
And it's virtually impossible to get it back unless you have insider contacts, but I did not have that at that time.
It's tough with dropshipping. It's like a tough hurdle, isn't it? Like
it was tough because who knows, if that ad account didn't get disabled, maybe I'd be on a different path right now. Maybe I'd be a dropshipping guy, but I'm not. We're in the Instagram theme page space right now, and but it's virtually still like e-commerce. I mean, it is e-commerce. It's just a different form of it, really. Yeah. But it's funny, life has ways of putting you down certain paths, whether you like it or not sometimes. And I guess it just came at a time where I think then we were already anyway starting pages. Yeah, we were starting pages, and that became the core focus after that.
Where I saw the most potential. Some people have asked me, how did you come up with the idea of running faceless pages? I was like, just scrolling and seeing faceless Instagram pages, and I thought, hey, it doesn't take like a genius brain to understand that when you've got followers, you can make money, period. And I thought, hey, let's take action on it. Started a bunch of pages that failed, till I decided to not give up on it. Instead of getting pissed off because I only had 50 followers after 2 weeks, I said, hey, let's just get 100 now, 200, and not give up. Eventually I got to like 5,000, 6,000, started making decent money, 10,000 followers, massive, started making like 1,000, 2,000 a week, and then ultimately you get to 1,000, 2,000 a day, and then hopefully you get to 2,000 an hour, and there's just always new mountains to climb.
Yeah, and I think like when you make your first sale online, right, whether it was a €10 promo deal back then or the €49 e-commerce sale, it just proves it flips a switch in your mind, right, where you actually realize, you actually fully believe now that you can make money online because you've done it. Like at that stage we believed we could. That's why we were actually executing on it, and we were like working whilst everyone else was pretty much partying all the time. And I remember we went through a period where we used to go to parties every single week, but then we drastically cut that down and maybe went to one a month, which was kind of a big deal.
Rare.
Maybe not even one a month at one stage. It was we were getting very locked in, and then obviously that's when the C19 hit and all that, so it kind of got us even more locked in. But getting back to my point, like when you, even if it's just $1 and it's your first dollar online, it's a massive milestone. It's a mental milestone. It's where you can actually 110% believe that you can make money online, right? Not 100%, but like literally 110%. Like you know it's possible. Like the money has arrived in your bank account and it's been created through the online world.
Thin air.
Yeah, literally, quite literally. And then from there, you know, look, if you made $1 in you know a day, what's stopping you from multiplying that by 10, 100?
Yeah, literally
1,000 every single day, and it doesn't need to be that low ticket, but
the cash is everywhere.
You get the gist. Yeah,
literally. I mean, it's everywhere. Boys and girls, I think I've got 93%, probably 96% of men on the channel. So if there are any girls, you're more than welcome to stay subscribed, and thank you for watching. Thank you, boys, too. I think we'll wrap up right now.
We need to hit the gym.
We need to hit the gym before it closes. Yep. And I think that I'm also I'm struggling to keep my eyes open. It's been a long last 24 hours that I've been awake. Tom, you probably a few hours extra. So yeah, it's getting tough.
We'll see you lads on the next podcast. I mean, we'll probably do some videos in the meantime, but we'll definitely be more consistent with these podcasts whilst we're here in Skopje. And
exactly, guys. See
you guys on the next one.
Stay subscribed to the channel, and always feel free to check out Instagram Money Mastery, which you'll find in the description. I'll link it in the description. It's just our private coaching program that costs literally just a fee of $75. I'll be upfront with you. If you want to get private coaching from both of us, weekly live calls, 2 to 3 weekly live calls, a community, just everything you need to start printing money with Instagram theme pages. We don't believe in making money with online courses like everyone else does, so that's why it's only $75. And trust me when I say this, it's more valuable than all of these gurus like $10,000 mentorships or whatever. So join in.
First link in the description. All right, cheers.